Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on The Regime, a series coming to Max about Kate Winslet as an authoritarian. I think she's a dictator. And so the series is going to be about how terrible she is and what she does to people and her country. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 13, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Well, I'm two minds of this show. First off, all the women are in charge. Which normally would be like, oh, here we go. But in this show, they're terrible. So that makes a lot more sense to me. They're authoritarian. Now, the question I have, and it's not really in the trailer, but are they portraying the women, say, with the nurturing instinct run amok? Kind of, a little, but not really yet. It's more like they're in charge and just abusing their power, I guess. This guy gets recruited by Winslet to be her, like, general. And because he's nobody, and she figures she can bring him to power and then she can control him, I guess. But I would gather as the series progresses, he gets a taste of the power and then runs amok. He has so much power he even stops her husband from visiting her at one point. So there's a lot of big names in this. Martha Plimpton, who I recognize. Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant looks like a character from that he played in The Gentleman. I wonder if it's supposed to be the same character. He looks very similar. He's wearing glasses, kind of a leather jacket. He's got like a scruff going on. March 3rd, this is on Max. That would be amazing if he played the same exact character. I can't find it. Oh, here he is. He looks very similar to the character he played in. It's not really sunglasses, but he had a similar set of glasses. Very similar to the character he played in The Gentleman. He was a reporter. Not sure what he is in here. That would be a cool crossover kind of thing. You know, that was something Richard Belzer did. He played the same character in multiple TV shows. I don't think it's the same guy, though. He is a little different. I think the other guy did have sunglasses, but he was a scumbag reporter, and he's given the same vibe here. So I don't know. So this could be good. Directed by Stephen Frears and Jessica Hobbs. If they're portraying if it's just a ham-fisted, metaphor for Trump, I mean. It's just going to be, oh, no, come on. It could be. It's hard to tell. I don't know. It could also be a ham-fisted metaphor for anything even remotely Republican. That, yeah, she's going to be bad as F, but it's all going to be right-wing. It's gonna, the idea being like, oh, say it's fascism. It's right-wing fascism. I just don't trust Hollywood with any kind of political message anymore. It's always one-sided. I just don't even see how anything else can be greenlit now out inside the Hollywood system that isn't part of the narrative. I just don't see it anywhere. Unless it's, unless it's an analogy like a Western or a sci-fi movie. It's buried deep in the subtext. And this appears to be fairly blatant, but I'm not saying it is one-sided. Perhaps it's a real study in authoritarianism and how it impacts people. Although, I mean, Kate Winslet's the main character and she seems kind of evil. Kind of hard to bring myself to go, ooh, let me watch that and follow her escapades. Kind of just makes me go, oh, yeah, she seems terrible. No thanks. So I'm not sure it's kind of hard to watch something about a character that doesn't really have redeeming qualities. So it's going to be really tough, I think, to get an audience behind a character like this. The leader of a country being authoritarian, doing authoritarian things. I mean, you do have the soap opera effect of various characters, but, she seems like dear leader, and that's the way they're portraying her. Maybe as a movie, sort of rise and fall. As a series, how long could you drag this out? Again, it might be a one season deal. I think, some of these actors have signed on for TV, but a lot of it feels like one season deals, like boom, they're in, they're out. Essentially making it a 10-hour movie or character study. Yeah, maybe that could work. It'd be tough to up the ante in this and not have this character die, because she's in such a powerful position and she's evil, and that's what happens in real life. So I'm not sure what insight you're going to get in a show like this, especially coming out of Hollywood, that their politics are pretty damn black and white these days. From the trailer, I mean, it's a series, so probably her fall, I would say. It looks like she starts on top, and then it's about the court intrigue around her and her eventual downfall. Possibly you could do a second season. She's driven out of power and then has to reclaim it from her previous guy, and then goes through hell to reclaim it, only to, head right back into an even worse situation. Yeah, I guess that could be interesting, but, who am I rooting for? That's the tough part about this. If I don't, have a group to root for, the thing about, say, Sacha Baron Cohen's The Dictator, it was a comedy, so while I didn't like The Dictator, if he was a real guy, it was so ridiculous, it was kind of funny to watch him run amok, right? This is kind of serious. Yeah, pretty serious. They're trying to ground it in reality and intrigue and all that. And the intrigue's fun for a while, but if you have nobody to root for, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can sustain it. It could be sort of a film noir thing where there is a character who's kind of bad too, but he's the best in a bad world. But I don't think Kate Winslet is that character, because she has all the power, it seems. So, yeah. Doesn't seem very relatable. I mean, maybe Kim Jong-un could watch this and go, "Ooh, yeah. Yeah, been there. So, I don't know if I would watch this. It's on Max. Maybe I'd give it an episode to just check it out and watch it. I mean, with a cast like this, I can't imagine it will be poorly made. I wonder how much, how many episodes I could even watch with loathsome characters like this. I don't know. Feels like it wouldn't really grow on me. I don't know. What do you think about bad characters? It's a very difficult thing to write, I think, to make a bad character, the hero. To me, a lot of times what you have to do is you have to surround a bad character with people who are so much worse. You go, well, he or she is stuck in that world, and this is, they're just trying to survive. And you can kind of justify it that way. that doesn't seem to be the case since she's in power. That's really sort of, yeah. I mean, she goes up against the United States at one point, which is kind of interesting. So, could this show make statements about U.S. foreign policy, like actual U.S. foreign policy? I'm going to guess this is a fictitious country. I don't think I caught the name of the country she's supposedly ruling. But seems pretty ruthless. Seems pretty ruthless. So let's read the write-up. Is there a write-up here? It just says, nothing in the world makes sense without her. That doesn't really draw me in. That just confuses me. You know? I mean, George Orwell had 1984 Big Brother. Is this supposed to be Big Sister? Is it that Orwellian? It doesn't seem so. It seems to focus a lot on her and the court intrigue. Like with kings and queens who were in similar situations, I think we kind of forgive them a little bit since they're in the past, in history, prior to the sort of authoritarian politics. Like there was no other kind of politics. You had kings and queens, nobles, and that everybody had those. So I think people can be more forgiving of characters from those time periods, whereas in the modern era, it's kind of tough to forgive someone with that kind of power running amok and killing people or whatever, which I assume she ends up doing. So it's kind of easier to forgive a king, you know, if he tries to be good, even if he ends up killing a few people here and there. It's like, well, you know, if he didn't run the kingdom, somebody else would just come in. Whereas under like a more modern era, it's like, well, you could have democracy. I mean, you could. So, anyhow, I have mixed feelings about it. I don't think I'm gonna watch it, but it's possible. I don't know what the audience is really. I guess it would be people who are into kind of soap opera intense dramas like this, where there's a lot of court intrigue. Could be good. Really on the fence about it. What do you think? And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan, somewhere in the house. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you can find a more base take, I say take it. Don't forget, this Saturday, I'll be doing the live stream before Christmas Eve. We'll be doing Christmas movies. Should be a fun time, so tune in for that at 7 on Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.